Hello, Charlie.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your demanding schedule.
My pleasure. The content of your request seemed like something I should carve out a few minutes for.
I should point out that I voted for you, as your promises of hope and change, transparency and accountability, as well as putting government back into the hands of the American people, struck an emotional chord in me that I hadn't felt in quite some time. Perhaps ever.
And I appreciate that, Charlie. Big fan of the show, by the way. However, we are pressed for time.
I'll take that as an invitation to cut to the chase. Sir, in the very near future, we will be experiencing our first 9/11 anniversary with you as Commander-in-Chief.
Yes, a very solemn day for our nation, a day of reflection, and yet a day of historical consciousness as well.
Very much so, sir. Very much so indeed. Now, in researching your position regarding the events of 9/11 and the subsequent investigation that followed, am I correct to understand that you fully support and endorse the findings of the Commission report, otherwise known as the official story?
Do I have any reason not to, given that most of us are presumably in touch with similar evidence?
I really wish that were the case, sir. Are you aware, Mr. President, of the recent stunning revelations that 60% of the 9/11 commissioners have publicly stated that the government agreed not to tell the truth about 9/11 and that the Pentagon was engaged in deliberate deception about their response to the attack?
I am aware of certain infighting during the course of their very thorough and tireless investigative process.
Mr. President, it's hard to label this type of friction as infighting or make the irresponsible leap to thorough, when the evidence I insist you examine regarding 6 of the 10 members are statements of fact.
No disrespect, Mr. Sheen, but I have to ask, what is it that you seem to be implying with the initial direction of this discussion?
I am not implying anything, Mr. President. I am here to present the facts and see what you plan to do with them. Again, sir, these are not my opinions or assumptions. This is all a matter of public record, reported through mainstream media, painstakingly fact-checked and verified.
Mistakes were clearly made, but we as a people and as a country need to move forward. It is obviously in our best interest as a democratic society to focus our efforts and our resources on the future of this great nation and our ability to protect the American people and our allies from this type of terrorism in the coming years.
Sir, how can we focus on the future when the Commission itself is on record stating that they still do not know the truth?
And I'm telling you that we must move forward. We must endure through these dangers and politically challenging years ahead.
Mr. President, we have lost hope, and we cannot move forward with unanswered questions surrounding that day and its aftermath.
And I'd like to believe that I am here to restore that hope, to restore confidence in your leaders, in the system that the voting public chose through a peaceful transfer of power.
Mr. President, are you aware of the number of days it took to begin the investigation into JFK's assassination?
If memory serves, I believe it was 2 weeks.
Close. 17 days to be exact. And Pearl Harbor?
I would say again, about 2 weeks.
Close again, sir. 11 days to be exact. And what about 9/11?
I know it must have seemed like a very long time for all the grieving families.
It was a very long time, Mr. President. 440 days. Roughly 14 months. Does it bother you, Mr. President, that it only took 5 hours after the initial attack for Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld to recommend and endorse a full-scale offensive against Iraq?
I am not aware of any such purported claim.
I have the proof, Mr. President, along with scores of documents and facts I'd like you to take a look at. Here.
I see you came prepared, Charlie.
No other way to show up, Mr. President. When in doubt, over-prepare, I always say.
As you wish. Please continue.
Mr. President, I realize we're very short on time, so please allow me to run down a list of bullet points that might illuminate some reasons why we don't embrace the warm hug of federal protection.
You have 5 minutes left. The floor is yours. Brief me.